Southeast Asia division, and we're here with TNC versus T1. It has ferried himself in some tango, so he should be fine. But 23 Savage's meta is going to deplete now, but not before he gets a little bit of damage off before he does end up retreating. Meanwhile, Q on the bottom lane has actually been Earth Spites, and he might actually end up dying here. He manages to get off majority of the stacks, but one more Quill will do it. He doesn't pop the Fairy Fire as, there we go, one more right click from Gabby is going to be the one that brings him down. Q falls to first blood to Gabby, and he's going to get a fair amount of gold for that. 295, and already doing a good job at last hits as well, but not nearly as good as on the other half of the map. We do see Tims and Bok able to bring down Whitemon just with right clicks, and they're looking to go for 23 Savage as well, and they're dropping in very low with the combination of the Orb of Venom and the Blightstone is low nonetheless. And Whitemon has actually been found out again, but he's actually gotten a lot of damage here. It does time out. Unfortunately, they might even want to try and go for him. They do have the medallion finish as well, so they're actually going to dish out a lot of damage. Whitemon is going to get a double stack. Go for the stomp as well. Is going to catch up onto the Pangolin, but I mean, the right click from Tims is just going to be enough. And there we go. They smoke up immediately. 50 seconds till that finger still, but 23 Savage is actually farming in the area. Oh no, he actually backs up. There is going to be the raw follow through. Can they actually burst him though? He does have the Sunder, and they can easy with the Wild Axes. All of that magic damage just slicing through. Amel, you know he wants to go for this. Q even blinks in and is going to kill off Boomy's courier, but they actually managed to find 23 Savage here. There's going to be a follow through with the Earthspike, and they clean him up. A very nice smoke is going to lead to an easy kill. And I mean, so far at least, they're proven to be better. Boomy is actually even going to be able to cancel the TP, and they do so of Whitemon as well. The double cancel, and they're going to lose both of their supports here right away, and Boomy even secures some more damage from the Finger of Death. Really, really nice job from those guys, and they TNC are going to find 2 supports on the way out, so the gank that was starting to look like a good little engagement. I mean, they're just going to probably head higher ground here. They have the Aegis, they have new items. Gabby's just hit this Eternal Shroud. Like, they're looking really, really strong. They have all their ultimates. Why not head up onto the higher ground? Gabby is going to get stunned up, but he does have a Lotus Orb on him. So I don't know if he's really that afraid. And there we go. The BKB is finished onto Gabby. So I honestly don't really know if he's afraid of anything. Carl is going to get hit by the axes on both ways. Gabby dropping very, very low actually to the damage from the Shadow Demon. But, oh, the Finger is actually going to be there to help clean him up. He buys back almost immediately, though. And he's going to come back into this fight. But Gabby is just in the middle of this, dishing out tons of damage. 23 Savage is trying to go into Tims, but she's just healing back up. And there is actually 2 fights going on separately. We're going to focus on the main one right now, as the bandage is actually going to be there. A very nice save to keep Ku alive, but the Axis just cleaves him in twain. Ku is taken down. And Gabby's coming in and gets a triple kill as well. The second kill this fight he's got on that Shadow Demon, and that's a dieback for him. And they're just going to keep going right now. Gabby had a lot of stacks for this Warpath, and with no purges available, they're just going to... They just really want to keep going. There's their Hex going around onto 23 Savage, and... he is going to get stomped, but he just turns his back and keeps going. They just want to keep this going as long as they can. They're enjoying this. And unfortunately, they're not going to bring down anyone else, but they're going to focus on the objectives, which are obviously very important right now. They know they need to end, but they know they can be a little patient because of how far ahead they are. 23k net worth lead right now. Really, really good. And Carl is actually going to turn in the Shadow Blade. He's going to try and go onto Gabby, and they get the initiation up onto him. The Soul Catcher just a lot of damage, but there goes the heals immediately. He gets pulled back with the Earth Splitter, but I mean, he's just not taking any damage. The axes are still flying through, and I mean, so far at least, no one's basically taken any damage, despite a lot of spells being used. And Gabby's just in the front line, dishing out damage after damage, and Tim's even goes in deep as well. Will get crushed up by Ku, but I mean, she's definitely not going to die, and that's another set of racks looking like it's just going to get taken out. Boomy blinks in, finds the stun onto Ku, dropping very low. The Boomy is going to use the Finger, but not quite going to be able to clean him up. 23 Savage goes down onto Armel, but there's the disarm. Saves Armel for the most part, but he is dropping very low. The Purge popping might clean him up, and it does. So they clean up the Beastmaster at the very least, and there goes the Sunder, keeping 23 Savage nice and healthy, but he's trying to kill Tims, but he can't even do that with the Untouchable. They try to go onto Bok, but 23 Savage is dropping very, very low, and he does not have a Sunder available, and there goes another disarm, and they clean him up. A triple kill there available for Gabby, and they want to go for more, and they do. They get a 4-man takedown at the edge of the base. Gabby trying to stand on the edge of the fountain to dish out damage. They really want to keep going. They're actually going to try and take a fight here. They have found Tim's. There's going to be a stump, but I mean, she got the Nature's Attendance off. She's dropping very low, but can they actually finish her up? She's dropping very low. Can they still? Yes, they can. 23 Savage is going to get stunned up, but the Stampede is going to be there to get him out. So they've lost the Enchantress at the start of this fight here. Whitemon is going into the backline, but does get stunned up. There's going to be the Raw onto 23 Savage. Armel drops low. The Finger of Death cleans up Ku. And but Gabby is still the one you really want to focus on, as Carl just gets hexed up, and he's in a lot of trouble here. He tries to fight through it, but he just gets taken down. Easy there. He's cleaned up, as they do use the disarm as well onto 23 Savage. He's going to TP away, so he might just get out, and he will. Whitemon, but there's going to be no stuns. And Carl obviously enjoying himself here. Despite the fact that there's a 27k net worth deficit to make up, 23 Savage trying to fight it. He's trying to do anything he can, but the throne is exposed. Gabby goes in. And, I mean, they're taking a lot of damage here. 23 Savage is in a lot of trouble. He's trying to just get low so we can get the Sunder, but there goes the Hex. Gabby dropping it very low, and 23 Savage is taken down. No buyback. And he wants to go into the fountain, but that is it. GG is called. Ku taps it out. And he even goes in the fountain to rip through them a little bit longer. And TNC Predator claim game number 1 in this best of 3 series in a very, very comfortable fashion. 30k net worth lead. You might want to go into Armel here. Zephyr is in the area and does have access to his boots now. So if he does manage to catch Armel when he goes down to the low ground, he could do, and he's going to go in for it. There's going to be a stun. They have the Carapace ready as well, but actually he's not going to use it. Unfortunately, they didn't have any follow-up for that, and they actually might find Zephyr here. They're going to follow through with the stun. Boomy on the high ground, getting rid of his armor. One more right click will do it. There's the salve, but it's not enough. Armel cleans up Zephyr, and is even going to be able to get the water rune as well. But on the top lane, we are seeing Savage getting run down here. One more Pulse Nova will do it, but the nice Hex from Whitemon is actually going to buy him the time he needs to escape. But Armel's pretty quick, and he gets the slow one to 23 Savage. A few more Pulse Novas is going to be there, and there we go. They clean him up. Armel is going to finish up 23, and they are actually even able to clean up Whitemon as well. And as you can see here, Boomy is actually going to get caught out a little bit. Actually, might even get blocked up by the creeps. So there's going to be a cookie forwards, but I mean, that is just going to end up with Armel in a lot of trouble. There's going to be a stun. Armel is dropping Carl very low, as well as Zephyr. He does manage to clean up the next assassin, and Tims is going to be there to get the turnaround kill. There's a haster in here picked up on Gabby, and they just want to go into Roche again. TNC obviously playing this strategy around this Bristleback, where they get early levels, they win their lanes, and then they go into Roshan and just try their best to take this. I mean, they have ways to stop this, though. They're actually going to get revealed here. Zephyr will spot him out. And they are going to start TPing heroes in, but Zephyr dropping very low. Not quite low enough to get taken down, though. They do need to finish up this Roshan quickly, though, as they want to go back in. Ku very low. Zephyr also very low, and he does get cleaned up. The final fade bot there from Tims is going to be there to clean him up, but 23 Savage has flanked him in on the back line, and Carl goes in. They blow up the Rubik straight away, but he buys back immediately, and they're going to head in. Gabby with a very nice Avatar's combo. They are going to blow up one of them. But the Snapfire is unfortunately the cost, with that Avatar's combo not quite being enough to clean up any of their major pit. But they're going in again. They want to try and clean it up. They're going to play it risky. It's dropping very low. It's going to be the finish up, but he snatches it! Ku is actually just going to walk in and take it right from under their noses, and that is going to be the big turnaround they're looking for. They clean up Armel, they look for Boomy, and they get 2. Ku is going to turn that one around perfectly, and they're just going to go in again here. Gabby, a very nice timber chain from the Roche pit. He tries to fight back with the avalanche, but he's not going to be able to do so. Ku is dropping low. He backs away to make sure he doesn't waste that Aegis, but Buck, I think he is just going to get taken down here easily with a triple kill for the Timbersaw. They have no vision here. Like, this is scary for them. Luckily, they're not going to get popped, but they do find Carl and they get him in with the Avatar's combo. They do follow in with the stun as well. Carl dropping very low, but the Yules is actually going to be there to save him for the most part. And they're supposed to blow up Boomy right at the start of this, but Armel is still alive. He manages to Yules himself up to keep himself safe. They kill up the Razor, but, I mean, they're going to kill up Armel. 23 Savage gets a double kill. Armel just goes in far, far too deep, and they're going to clean him up, and they might look for more. A nice double stun from Zephyr is going to be there to try and turn them around, but a stolen double stun from Tims is going to get 3 down, and 23 Savage is actually still alive and does have the doppelganger to try and survive through this, as Tims is the one they do opt to go for, but he's pretty healthy for now. Does have the Force Staff when that Timber Chain comes out, but not going to be able to dodge that, and they clean up Tims. You might even want to keep going here as the Lion does rotate back in, but no blatant target to speak of. Bok tanking up a lot of that damage as well, I can imagine. This will be very, very difficult here for TNC, but T1 are definitely starting to hit their stride. And they want to keep going. They do smoke and they get the nice hex off onto Bok. There is going to be the cookie out to save him for the most part, but there's a nice impale, and Carl wants to go in, but he gets Avatar, he's dropping very low, and they blow him up. So the Razor goes down as well, but so does the Bristleback, and he buys back. Ku dropping low, Timber Chain is going to get him out of there, but Bok is on his tail. It's going to be a Timber Chain back up to the high ground, though. They don't have a stun, or not quite with the cookie. In the area, Gabby. And Carl will just TP out, and he does force at least one TP, but the Yule is actually going to be there to break up that teleport. And Gabby, unfortunately, I think he's just stuck with no way out. There's going to be an avalanche, so they are going to waste a lot of time here. 3 seconds until that blink, but there you go. There is the stun. They find him, they hex him, and they finger him, and they clean him up. Easy, couldn't expect. And T1 has managed to find Bok. Can't spot him. And he does know that his team probably isn't here. Vendetta will last for a while longer. And if he goes down to maybe farm up in this camp, this could be an easy kill. There's going to be a nice impale, but there you go. They do get the Yules as well as the static links. They're draining his damage. And he is now in the negative numbers, and that does mean that that's an easy pick up there. Bok amazingly out of position, and they clean him up. And there's Armel. They have found him, and they get the carapace off as well. And they are going to follow up on this as well. They have the initiation with the Earth Spike, and they clean him up easy. Even though Tim's was able to steal a spell, I don't think the kit's going to be enough. Carl does not have much stolen damage, but again, I don't think it's necessary. They just want to go for more. A very nice double impale is going to get the stun off onto the two of them. And 23 Savage just comes in and cleans up Tim's and Boomy, and they're going to look for more. They clean up Bok as well. A 6k net worth lead in their 4-man takedown in the middle lane. But TNC are smoked. Maybe they look for a pick off here. They can't quite see anyone. There's a nice stun. Hit onto Carl with the lift back and the split earth going into it. A very nice cookie. He's actually going to catch up onto the 4 of them. And they actually managed to, but they actually just turn it around. T1 come in and they are able to clean up Boomy. 23 Savage is still in the area. Carl drops very low, but the BKB is unfortunately timed out onto Bok, and that does mean that he is going to get his mana sapped. And 23 Savage as well is just going to keep going. He turns on the doppelganger, but he has to back away. The mana from Bok is being slowly drained. Can they keep going on this? They have the Ottering Core. Tim's dropping very low. He might even just die to Illusions, and he does. The thing with that's going to be there. But they might still die to Whitemon. No, they don't. They get the Hex off onto Gabby, and they don't clean him up. But Bok is actually getting taken down as well with the Timbersaw, securing that last hit. And Gabby tries to spider legs away, but he cannot do it. 23 secures the double kill. I'm sure he's going to get anything from it, as his team is getting initiated, and they've managed to find Bok, but even with the Timbersaw, he's hard to kill. They're going to go in again straight away. They go with Carl, and they're just going to keep trying to fight this as best they can. And Bok is actually going to get pressured on. He does pop his BKB, and that should mean that he's going to be able to disengage, but Boomy is actually going to get found out, and they're going to start to run him down. He does get the 4 staff out of there, but Carl's very, very quick with those spider legs closing the gap, and they clean up the Snapfire. They're just going to keep going. T1, they know that their timing is now with a 12k gold lead. Carl's going to get lifted, but Tim's unfortunately just gets cleaned up by Ku, cleaving him in twain. He buys back, but I mean, they can just keep going as best as they can right now. Ku just man fights through it, and it just continues going and going and going, and but they actually just spit Gabby into the backline, and they're going to try and blow up Whitemon. Not quite able to do so. The crit is not enough. And Armel is just going to go in deep and try and deal damage, but he gets cleaned up. 85 seconds with a buyback, and Carl's just going in. Look how much damage he's dishing out with the Eye of the Storm. They clean up 4 of them, and Carl even runs it into the base just to show that he is the big man. And they get a full 5-man wipe, and GG is called at 40 minutes. They clean up that game. And Game 2 is going to go the way of T1 in a really, really nice fashion, actually. It looked like everything was going well for TNC. They hit their timings really well, but then they lost that fight at the Roche Pit. That was all they needed. And so we're going to have Game 3 in in death as well, which I think is wise, given the fact that he's against 2 range heroes. There might be an arrow here. He's going to follow through, and it will hit perfectly. Ku is in a lot of trouble now. Can he Timber Chain out of it? He can, and with the points in the regen, he might be fine, but 1 or 2 more right clicks will do it, and Gabby is going to claim the first blood. So again, Gabby gets the first blood. Really good job. Seeing now Zephyr just being very irritating. And on the bottom lane again, there you go, they get another kill. just with the combo, that's all they needed, and they might even get a kill off on Zephyr, and they will. The final right click is there from Armel to clean up the Enchantress. I mean, if that is your plan, it's still tough. And meanwhile, they're on the top lane. They have managed to find Carl. Did they have a dust, though, is the real question. They don't need it with the Finger of Death. Whitemon, more than enough damage to clean him up. And there's the damage for the Finger, but as well as that, they can maybe even keep get a bit more gold towards this Orchid, of course. And Gabby has actually managed to find the Lion. There's going to be an arrow follow through as well. There's the stun, there's the arrow, and that's more than enough. I'm very sorry, Whitemon, but you are dead. As meanwhile, though, they are actually going to be able to catch the Roar. Oh, no, not the Roar, sorry. They get the Rod onto Ku. They get the stun as well. Ku dropping low. Not quite dead, though. The Sanity's Eclipse. And the final right click is going to be there to kill him, but Zephyr doesn't even die to that. He's going to get spat on, but not quite going to be able to clean him up as Carl comes in. Zips out away, though. They don't want to initiate further into that Snapfire ultimate, but I mean, they can see 23 Savage and Ku. They are going to get the initiation, but he's turned to stone. He can't get the Meteor Hammer off, and they just turn it around. They do manage to get the Rupture off onto the Timber Saw, so he has to hold still. He actually just backs away. Carl goes in deep. He's going to find the initiation off onto Buck. He got very, very low, but he's going to just turn on the BKB. 23 Savage pecks him down from afar, and they just want to keep going here. Ku goes in. Now with Armel's going to pop his BKB. There's another stun onto Ku. Look at all that damage just taken from that Axis as Armel is going to be able to blink away. And they blink in on Whitemon. And they want to actually go for this OG. They do have the Finger of Death, but the save actually comes in, and they're actually going to be able to blow up the Lion in response. But is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Gabby gets taken down. There's your position 1 taken down. 23 Savage taking approximately 0 damage. But Ku, on the other hand, he is really in a sticky sitch. But Armel actually does get turned to stone. He's going to get cookied away. And there is the Rupture, but he gets turned around. Bok is actually going to get trapped here. There's the double impale. They want to go in deep for this. Carl is going to start pulling back Gabby, but the Cookie's going to be there to try and save him. 23 Savage just turns on the Stone Gaze and nukes down Carl from afar. As there goes the bounces, but 23 Savage doesn't really care about getting banished, that's for sure. Ku is going to start advancing. They might want to go in for this. Armel looking for the Roar, but not going to get it. Armel pops his BKB, tries to look for another Roar, but not going to be able to get it again as Gabby gets turned around on. That Cold-Blooded is just so irritating, and there's just no damage onto 23 Savage. A stun after the Yules is going to be there, as well as the Hex. Well, not the Hex quite used yet. Armel does fall. Big Sanity's Eclipse out to turn that around, and they're going to be able to bring down the Timber Saw. As that did actually dish out a lot of damage there onto 23 Savage. He does not have an Aegis. Ku and 23 Savage. So it's going to be a banish, but he gets turned around on. It's going to be an arrow follow through onto Ku, so he just gets stunned up for 5 seconds. But there's going to be the turnaround. The banish is going to be there, but Gabby just stuns himself. Who's ruptured? It is going to be Ku, so he does have to stand still. There's going to be the split, but Gabby actually, unfortunately, just saves the Timber Saw's life. He is dropping low. He's going to get 4 staffed away. Drops very low, but Ku does get taken care of. And they actually managed to bring down Whitemon, so Gabby is going to start to take some very nice fights, but Carl is going to go in, get the Orchid off onto Gabby, but there's going to be the Glimmer Cape to save him for now. Medusa is in a lot of trouble. Gets stunned up for a few more seconds. And gets the armor nuked down as well. And they're kiting the Medusa, to be fair, but what's that realistically going to do? Gabby goes in. Does have the Sanity's Eclipse and manages to blow up Zephyr. Okay, that's the start of a fight here, but Carl goes in and he's going to try and get the initiation. There's the Stone Gaze. Gabby dropping low. One more right click will do it. And there you go. Carl gets the kill with the final proc. And Armel, oh no, he even got baited to pop his BKB. He thought Carl was going to go in. 23 Savage. He's actually going to get a Cold-Blooded back on. Look at all this. He just regains back all of his mana every time with that Blood Right, but there is going to be a banish. No, the turnaround of the banish of his own. There's going to be a nice arrow though, but I mean, you know, the SMY, like, it doesn't last long enough to really do anything. They are going to pop the Marauder ultimate. Maybe keep going here, but Gabby actually gets stunned up and they want to go in on this right away. They are just going to try and blow up Gabby, and they do. He's there for 85 seconds with no buyback. That is huge. I mean, he just stunned himself, and then that was all they needed. And they're just going to go in for more right now. With 74 seconds with no buyback, you have to imagine this is closing near to the end of the game here. They're just going to peck away at the base. Armel trying his absolute best to deal with 23 Savage, but what do you do? It's just so hard to play against this hero right now. Courtesy of the Astral Imprisonment. Of course, he is mostly just stacking up his damage, because then his he gets the good stuff then. Gets the extra mana pull, and that's really good. But there goes the initiation. Didn't have time to get his BKB off. There's going to be the Earth Spike followed through as well. Can they clean him up? Gabby's dropping very low. He does have a BKB, but oh no, he turns to face 23 Savage, and he's taken down. So he does have buyback and a BKB. Does he want to go for this? Yes, he does. He gets the banish off. He does lose a lot of his stacks up, though, as Armel is being chased down on the top. And Carl just brings him down and wants to go for more. But pops the BKB of Gabby, and that's all they need as they bring down the Bloodseeker as well. 2 buybacks already used, but a lot of heroes are on the deck. And 23 Savage is just carrying on going. This is going to be Megas. And it will just split people in, and Carl asking people to tip him. As he goes in, of course, remembering last in game 1, he was tipped up relentlessly. And they're going to try their absolute best, but there is a Hex onto Gabby. He does not have his BKB for a few more seconds, and the Finger of Death is going to be there. Gabby is dead. That's your position 1 OD dead, and that is it. GG is called. TNC taps out, and this best of 3 series is going to go the way of T1, and they did it in such a good fashion as well, creating so much space for 23 Savage to just dominate this game. So a phenomenal performance from them as they take that best of 3 series. They're going to go up to a fairly good score, actually.